Hello everybody, my name is Balian and welcome to the official breakdown for the UFC esports league. Now if you haven't heard, the ESFL, the organization that I am a part of, have been working for, helped create many years ago. We have been creating fight cards for the UFC community, UFC 3, UFC 4, basically creating a bit of a competitive scene and streaming fights once or twice a week with a fight card, with a breakdown of the best players in the world competing. And over a period of time, over 3 years, we've really sort of created and built a wonderful team, established ourselves as the premier esports league for UFC content, and we've come a long way. And now the UFC have taken notice. We've managed to talk to them, work out a bit of a partnership, a deal, and this is the first event. It's coming this Sunday, November 29th at 3 p.m. Eastern. It will be starting. I will be there. I will be commentating and calling those fights, guiding you through the action with Mr. Bruce Lee, Rob, my commentating part of there as well. But it's going to be great. If you've never seen an ESFL event before, these fights are fun. The players are incredibly high level. You will see action. You will see techniques and things you have never seen before. There will be drama, there will be intrigue. The first event this Sunday is going to be a one-night tournament. So we have the 16 best Xbox players in the world competing in a one-night tournament. The winner will become the UFC esports champion, and then over the next 3 weeks, as you can see here, they will defend that belt. Someone might take that belt off them in the first week, but at the end of the last week, December 20th, we will crown the final esports champion for the UFC for season 1 there. Hopefully, there we go. And then the following week, we'll have a little break in the middle for Christmas. Then we're coming back January 3rd to do the PlayStation tournament, and we shall do the same thing. So there'll be an Xbox champion crowned this Sunday. They will try and defend their belt over the next 3 weeks after that. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But we'll see. So on this video, I'm just going to run through all of the competitors for the Xbox side of things. It's going to be a bit of a preview for the Xbox side. Who's fighting? I have the tournament bracket. And if you've never seen anything or don't know anything about these players, maybe you've just heard some of the names around, or maybe you've come across them online, I'm going to give you a little bit of a breakdown for each player, what they're good at, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, some of the matchups they've had before, their ESFL ranking currently, their record so far in UFC 4 esports competition. And you can kind of get an idea of who's who you can expect, and some of the matchups ahead on the card. Okay, so thanks for watching. Let's jump in. Okay, so this is the tournament bracket for the Xbox card. Now, obviously, we have the graphic that we're working on. I don't want to share that with you today. I don't want to give away too much. That's got to be a secret. But this is the basic layout. We took the top 16 players in the ESFL. Again, if you've never seen the ESFL, we have been around since the start of UFC 3, all through UFC 4, non-stop pretty much really for the last 3 years. So a lot of these players have been competing for a long time. Have had a chance to get wins, get losses, get experience, cement themselves. We've had so many different interesting matchups and fights over the years. It's been a really cool experience. But here we are, the final 16 that have been selected right here. I'm going to run through them all. I'll do this right here. I will run through them all for you now, and we'll have a little chat about some of them. So starting off right here in the first matchup, on the first half of the bracket, let's call it, we have Styles against Hasboys. Now, I've got my notes over here because I have commentated these fights a few times. Styles right now, he is ranked number 12 in the ESFL, and he has 3-2 so far this season. Now, what you'll see with some of these records are, if you've got if you're a positive record 3-2, that's good, because you fight the best of the best in the ESFL. Not only do you fight the best of the best, you fight them live in front of an audience of maybe 200, 300 people, and you get one fight. It's not like ranked mode where you get a fight, you lose, you win, go straight back into the next one. You practice, you train for 2 weeks for one fight, and that's it. You have to show up on the night and perform, and it's not easy to do. So these records, some of them, if they're undefeated, it's incredibly impressive. But someone like Styles, he's been around, he's been competing for a while. 3-2 is a good record. He's fought the best of the best. He's only lost to the best so far this season as well. He is a grappler. He is a former ESFL champion. He has great top pressure, so you can expect him to look for the takedowns throughout the tournament. That is generally how he gets his victories. But he is matched up against Hasboys, which is an interesting matchup because they're both grapplers. It's going to be, I like this maybe for the first opening fight of the night. Maybe some people one and more of a stand-up war, but typically two grapplers might respect each other enough to just go straight into a stand-up battle. That's not the case. Definitely at this level, you have to be well-rounded, because if there is a hole in your game, it'll get exposed immediately. We see that with so many ESFL players who come up, they get a few wins, and then they come against a top guy who will just take them down. You know, you have to have your whole game well-rounded out. But these two, it should be a good matchup between both. Hasboys, of course, he is ranked number 3 this season, so he has done very, very well. 3 out of, you know, the 60 Xbox players we have on the roster. That's pretty incredible. 5-3 so far this season. Again, only really lost to the best, picked up 5 wins, lots of confidence, competed 8 times as well. That's quite a high number. Active submission game, of course, he does look for the sub. We do know that about him. We've seen him finish by sub a few times as well, and he is very good at making adjustments. I've got on my notes here, he is very good. But all these players are, this is not going to be a best of 3 tournament. It's one and done, and then they move on. I believe the final matchup for the belt is going to be best of 3. But the opening matchup there, XYZ Hasboys. Styles is very, very good. He is a former champ. He did that with his hands as well as his grappling as well. He's kind of transitioned to a bit more of a grappling approach in UFC 4. And Hasboy's always been a bit more of a grappler. It should be a tough matchup between 2 top guys. Both wrestlers, both grapplers. We'll see who takes that first matchup. I'm excited for that one. Moving on to the next one. We have immediately TD Jamie, or Suave Jamie as he is known. That is our current ESFL Xbox champion. The man is 7-0. He has been undefeated in UFC 4 esports competition. He has not lost yet, okay? He is the favorite to win this tournament as a result of the fact that he has never lost. He's beaten anyone on this card who's got a 1 next to their name. You could pretty much guarantee that 1 or more has been taken by Suave Jamie. He is fantastic. He is elite. He's good everywhere. He's elite stand-up. Well, we should say world-class, really. World-class stand-up, world-class wrestling, world-class submissions. He's won in every way you can imagine. He tends to be not much of a slow starter, but definitely he'll make reads on his opponent. And even if someone has a bit of early success, by the end of like the second round, he's taken away all of those tools, all of those things your opponent was using against you, and you can pretty much find that Jamie's just started to pick people apart, just dismantle them. And when he gets people hurt, he finishes really quickly. He's a very good finisher. So Jamie is the favorite to win. He's going up against Grips or Dev Raider. This is an interesting matchup though. Dev is a very aggressive striker, and he does love to brawl. So maybe he can pull Jamie into a fight like that. You know he's going to come forward with non-stop pressure. It will be an interesting matchup. I'm interested to see how they match up. He does have good defensive grappling as well. We do know that, but much more of a pressure style brawler is Dev Raider. So you got to feel for Dev because he's drawn Jamie in the opening round. That's not easy to do. But you know, I think if he gives him no respect and comes at him like a madman, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But the winner of that then gets to fight the winner of these two. So if Jamie does pick this one up, he's onto one of the grapplers, so he'll get tested after that anyway. So it should be interesting to see where he goes from there. The next matchup and the next part of the bracket, we've got Jakey B against Michael. This is a good matchup too. Jakey B, 2-0 right now this season. Ranked number 6. Jakey B's not lost. Kind of came into the season a bit late, but has looked really, really good. This will be interesting to see how he can do against some of the top guys, because he's not really had a chance to fight them yet, but he's in this tournament and will get to showcase his skills. This is kind of one of those dark horses that you can slide in because we haven't seen that much of him, but he is 2-0 and he has looked really dominant. Great combos, a grinder. You know, he definitely likes to piece people up, almost like a not necessarily in terms of the shot selection, a Diaz-like style, but definitely a grating continuous pressure style with the stamina playing a big impact. He will look to clinch as well when it's necessary. And very clean, very clinical, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and that's always really key at the high level. Currently ranked number 6 in the ESFL. 2-0, but ranked number 6. That's how highly touted the matchmakers have him, and the guys that do the divisions making have him. He's taking on Michael. Michael's number 11 right now. 3-1. So 11, 3-1, but he's not fought the same level of competition, which is why he's a little further down the rankings. Michael, yeah, I've got here as well. You know, great takedowns, kickboxing style, good top control. He is very good everywhere. Doesn't really play much off his back. I think he's been held down once or twice before, but it's the head kicks that you want to watch out for from Michael. He sets those up very well, lead leg and rear leg, off the 1-2 as you normally see, but mixes up the timing on them so they're not as easy to sort of like duck as most people find, and fires them out of nowhere, you know, in range, same stance, baits out the forward moving jab and just flings the head kick up there as the sort of the lead technique. in the combo, it does work out quite well for him as well. He also has a 100-0 record, I believe, in LEC, which is pretty impressive, undefeated. It's a smaller promotion, but still, nonetheless, you can't discount that as a statement on his record. So that'll be an interesting matchup, midway card there. JKB and Michael, a newcomer, a bit more of a veteran, certainly in the esports world. So let's see who moves forward to that one. Next matchup here, we've got Dabakan and Cody Dank. This is a great fight right here. Dabakan is a former champion. Cody Dank is someone who's never tasted ESFL Gold, but he has put a beating on some of the best players in the world consistently. I know he's very focused and training very hard for this. Like I said, Dabakan is a former champion, former two-time champion this season as well. He was the first champion this season for Xbox in the ESFL as well. So you got to watch out for him. He is great everywhere. Great pressure, great kickboxing, really good grappling as well. Mixes everything up nicely and really just like attacks with like a flurry, you know, like here's a rock and then a perfectly placed 4-punch combination behind it just to put you out. You know, it's like it's not the variety of the strikes keeps his opponents guessing, because you catch a rock on him and then there's like a lead hook to the body, uppercut, lead hook to the head, overhand or something. You know, it's just not a very predictable system of destruction that leads to a finish. So it's very hard to, when you get hurt by someone like Dabakan, to evade, to make a read on what he's going to try and finish you with, because everyone on this card, everyone at this level, they're very hard to put away because everyone's defensively so good. But Dabakan's definitely someone who's able to creatively find a finish where others might not be able to. Cody Dank is a phenomenal boxer. He rarely throws kicks, only when he really needs to, but he has amazing pressure style boxing, and he's really patient, and he'll just jab, and then just hit with the 1-2-3, jab. It's a very Diaz-like as well. It's good pressure, and there's great jiu-jitsu from Cody as well. Some people try and take him down, and when they do, they realize he's just as good on the ground as he is on the feet as well. So he has really good ground and pound, extremely punished. Excuse me, I've just done something weird there. Really good ground and pound as well. So that is a great matchup. Mid card right there. Dabakan, Cody Dank. That's kind of like something we could see later on in this card, but they've drawn each other in the opening. So I think they're both going to be a bit like upset about that one, because they know they're both good and it's going to be a great fight. So we'll see who moves forward to that one. Look out for these two as well, though. Dabakan, definitely former champ. He's a man who can come in and steal the thunder right from under Jamie, and I'm sure he's been training really hard. Cody as well is going to come in with a lot of confidence, a lot of swag, give no one any respect. I mean, he will give people respect, but in terms of when he's actually fighting them, he's not going to give them an inch. He's not going to give them an opportunity to sell. He's going to fight his fight. So that's an interesting fight there as well. Then on to the next one, Peyton versus Dino MMA. Peyton is a fantastic competitor. He has competed throughout UFC 3, throughout UFC 4, former champion, great boxing, really good lead hook on Peyton. He is his money maker is that lead left hook. He's definitely someone who's going to get it down on their feet, and he has looked so good this season, so good. Like in the last kind of his 3 appearances, he has just looked like a different fighter. Phenomenal on fire, and I know he'll be excited for this opportunity to dive in, to get stuck in, to try and make his name back, because on these tournaments he's always done really, really well, even back in UFC 3. So watch out for Peyton sliding in here, and his boxing and his lead hook. Dino MMA is someone who is considered by many to be a very high IQ player, very creative, very methodical, takes a much more realistic approach to the game, tries to create interesting setups like teep fakes into head kicks and little tricky things to catch you off guard. What's his, let's see if we can, have I got his, no, I don't have his record at the moment. Watch out for Dino MMA though. Definitely someone who can steal the show. He has he's picked up a few losses this season as well, though. He's kind of sort of even. I think his record's like 4-3 or 5-4 or something like that. But against Peyton, that's a good early matchup for Dino. Dino can definitely outclass Peyton, but Peyton will come at him with a lot of pressure, so that's a good, interesting matchup as well. But Peyton's definitely got the striking skills to beat anyone on this card, and Dino definitely has the adaptability to do somewhat the same, even though he's picked up a few losses this season. So that'll be interesting, and the winner of that matchup will take on Slick Colt and Combo, another 2 guys to watch out for. I mean, listen, this card is just stacked with killers. This is like the best Xbox players we have in the ESFL, so I keep saying it, but it's true. These guys are just phenomenal at what they do. Slick Colt right now he is number 2 in the ESFL, 5-1. I believe his only loss is to the current champion, and these guys are at opposite ends of the bracket right here. You got Jamie up here, Slick Colt, so they won't meet until the final if Slick Colt does get that far as well. Watch out for Slick Colt here. 5-1, like I said, very, very good grappler, very good wrestler. He's one of those guys who finds a takedown, executes it, and can just control from top position for the rest of the round and just beat people up with ground and pound, and when it's back on the feet, catch them and then take them down again. Really hard to deal with. A true veteran, and definitely a dark horse for this competition, I think, as well. Combo, he is a great kickboxer. We've seen him many times. You know, he's the kind of guy who shows up each week, or each, like, 2 weeks, in fact, if you're on Xbox. Shows up and has something new for us every time. Like, oh, here's a new setup. Here's like a new, you know, straight lead uppercut, lead head kick, you know, or just some kind of like fake lead kick, crane kick or something. You know, he's found like a new technique to like show and showcase. But it is his combinations, obviously. His name's Combo. He does like to put combos together. He's a great striker. Another one where it's like his striking is as good as anyone on this card. He's fallen short a few times to some of the top guys. Only 2-1 so far this season, so we haven't really seen him compete that much. But he gets a shot on the card, so we'll just see how Combo can do. He's going to have trouble against Slick, and that grappling, though, I think Slick, you know, is going to give him a lot of trouble. So maybe Combo's been practicing, been knowing that, and we'll see how it goes. After that, Mangan and Trixie there as well. Mangan, of course, yeah, I've got it on my notes here. I mean, basically just aggressive wherever the fight goes. If he's on the feet, if he's on top, if he's on bottom, you know, he's looking for subs. He's always looking to find a way to win. Someone else who's a vet as well, he's just someone who can just show up and just try and find a win from anywhere. Wherever he is, he's going to be looking to finish the fight. He's not someone who's going to take his time as much as somebody else. But that's just Mangan. He's got wins everywhere, and he will look for that. He's against Trixie. Trixie is a fantastic guy. Trixie's number 1 right now. Another person, obviously you have the champion, number 1, number 2, going downwards. So Slick Colt number 2, Trixie number 1. Trixie's someone else who has only lost to Jamie, 6-1. So discounting the Jamie loss, he's undefeated this season. You know, he's only lost to the champ, who again is at the other end of the bracket. And if Slick wins, if Slick and Trixie are in opposite brackets there, so if they do advance, they'll advance separately, may meet each other a little bit down the line. Gonna be a tough matchup for Mangan in this one. He is a vet. I've got here as well, dangerous even when losing, which is something he puts on all of his scouting reports that we have for him, because he is, man. He's come back so many times. Like he was 6-0, but he had been losing some fights and just, you know, kept slinging, kept moving his head, kept finding ways to get rocks and then just capitalizing, you know. So Trixie is a great, super entertaining fighter, especially on the feet. Lots of hooks, lots of combos in tight, uppercuts up the middle. This will be a great matchup here. I expect Trixie to go quite far in this tournament as well. And then finally, the last matchup right here, we've got Papa Lima taking on Southpaw. I do have my notes here. It's just not scrolling down. There we go. Lima is someone who's been around for a long time as well. He was in UFC 3 for ESFL. I think he won the belt as well. Yep, he was former ESFL champion. Very crafty striker. He'll kind of hit you as you come in or when you think his combinations are done. Someone that will kind of go 1-2 and then come back with a 2-3-2, you know. Like, he'll let you think that his combination is done and then catch you when you try to return. Very good at slipping. Again, has a great lead hook. Another one that has a really good lead hook. Papa Lima and Peyton, lead hands. They're both deadly with those lead hooks. I say it because then I'll say it during the fights, because when I'm calling the fight, the lead hook just comes out and it just catches people's consciousness. It's pretty dangerous. He is great. You know, Lima's someone who previously knows he has been a champ, so he'll come with a lot of confidence. All these guys are so hungry to do well because they want that strap, they want the rep, they want to prove they're the best. And this is the first season, you know, you're going to go down cemented forever. And if you get the belt in this first tournament, then you can hold on to it for the rest of the, you know, the fight cards coming up. And that says a lot. So they're definitely going to be grabbing that. And yeah, he's a former champion, elite striking. I've said it all here. He has taken on Southpaw, someone who showed up consistently this season, ranked number 9, 5-2. It's a really good record. Only lost to the best as well, Mr. Southpaw. Yeah, he, again, someone else who's just dangerous in every area and always looking for the finish. I know that you use that as an analogy a lot for these guys, but it's him, it's Southpaw, you know, he's going to look for a finish anywhere. He's not shy about going to the ground, not shy about looking for a sub or, you know, locking in, you know, like a nice head kick or something like that. So that's it. That's your layout. That's the card. There is your 16 fighters on the Xbox side of things. Obviously, champion will be crowned this Sunday. And then after that, it's going to be 3 weeks of defenses from the champion. Maybe the title will change hands, break for Christmas, and then after that, we come back with PlayStation. Okay. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this. There's been a lot of talk, positive and negative, throughout the community. I know a lot of people aren't happy with the state of the game. But I think when it's played at this high of a level, you will be, maybe you won't be surprised, but everyone who has seen the ESFL knows how entertaining it can be, knows how much fun it is to watch these guys compete. The drama of a one-night Grand Prix tournament is just something to behold, especially in esports. It's so much fun. You're getting to see these guys compete, beat each other, learn from each other's techniques, keep an eye on who's winning and who's losing. It's going to be a fantastic night. I promise you. I promise you. So tell your friends, anyone who's interested in UFC, maybe someone who's never even seen esports, let people know that it's going on. Let's try and get as many people together to just enjoy this experience, show the support for the game and the community and the competitive scene with the UFC as well. And, you know, maybe, you know, if you have your issues with the game and you're like things change, this is a good way to get EA to maybe make some changes that you feel are necessary. Talk to your game changers, have your game changers push your agendas for what you think needs to be changed, because there have been plenty of things that have been changed so far because of, you know, community feedback. So hopefully that can continue. But I will be there Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern, calling these fights, bringing you in, guiding you through the card. It's going to be a fantastic night. I'm really excited. This is a huge opportunity for the community. ESFL partnership with the UFC. That's it. All right. This is it. So let's go. We're going to have a good time. Please join us. Be there, 3 p.m. Eastern, Sunday, 29th. Share this video. Let people know. A nice little breakdown. And I will see you there for the fights. Take care.